Friends, recently the Supreme Court has given several judgments on SC/ST reservation issue and their promotion issue, even the Geo number 3 of Adivasi issue of United AP and SC/ST Atrocity Act. If you see the recent judgments of the Supreme Court, is it favoring the constitutional principles or is it violating the constitutional principles? We must examine these judgments basing on the constitutional principles. Because the reservation concept is not a mercy of any political party. It has its own history, historical context. The reservations are there for SC/STs from since 1932, before independence. The reservations are there, for minorities before 1932, even for Jains, even other, religious persons. So why only we are talking about the, so many are thinking that reservation is a mercy of the governments. The government is, giving these, SC/STs, especially BCs, basing on their mercy, these people are getting the reservations. That is wrong. Reservations are the constitutional, that is fundamental right of the citizens of this country, especially SC/STs and OBCs. Because the historical mistakes made by the civil society in the name of caste, in the name of untouchability, in the name of discrimination. This is the history of India. If you see the historical evidences, so many discrimination basing on the Varna system, caste system, untouchability. So-called civil society, even in the modern era, in high-tech society, we are practicing the modern type of the untouchability. Even we have the notion that, social distance, we are thinking that, even some of the so-called the poets of some Brahmin community also telling that in social media. Yes, we are Brahmins are so sophisticated people, we are practicing social untouchability. Now the entire world is, telling about the social untouchability, that is called social distance. In the era of the corona, COVID-19. But it is not fact. Social untouchability is a crime. Physical untouchability is not a crime. Physical untouchability is different from the social untouchability. So in the era of the corona, we must follow the physical untouchability rather than social untouchability. Because social untouchability leads to untouchability, which is abolishing the untouchability practice as a social crime under Article 17 of Indian Constitution. So in this historical context, we must address the reservations issue also. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the father of Indian Constitution, who participated in Roundtable 1, 2 and 3 in 1930, 31, 32, and he argued the social untouchability in the caste system. The caste system denied the educational right, employment right, political rights, and all the empowering rights, including property rights. All are denied in the Varna system as well as in the Manadharma, in social system like caste system. So, to pacify the gap between the non-Dalits and Dalits, so-called upper caste, the distance between them, the British people declared the communal award basing on the Ambedkar's with the data, with the statistics. He made a scientific argument how their educational rights, employment rights, political rights, property rights are denied by the so-called civil society in the name of untouchability, in the name of caste system. That is the social mistake done by so-called civil society. To pacify the gaps between the so-called civil society and so-called untouchable society, the British government has given a communal award for separate electorates and separate settlements. These are the two important concepts we must understand why reservations are incorporated in the Constitution, Constituent Assembly and Constitution of Modern Constitution, India. So, Baba Sahib Ambedkar clearly argued that the Dalits who are treated as the outcast people living the outside of the mainstream of the society, we are not part of the Hindu society. So that is the reason we want separate electorates and separate settlement system. He argued scientifically, and the British government, given communal award basing on the arguments of the Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Then immediately so-called Mahatma Gandhi ji declared that I am going to hunger strike against of the communal award which was declared by the Britishers. It is against of the Hindu people. Dalits are part of the Hindu society. They should not claim their own separate elections, separate electorates and separate settlements which are ordered by the Britishers. No, I can't agree. He declared hunger strike, fast unto death. He never declared his life about the fast unto death. Only he made only satyagraha, not fast unto death. So because of the strike by Mahatma Gandhi ji, even the opposition from the whole India, because at that time the entire people are involved in the freedom struggle movement, and they declared that Ambedkar is a British agent. So that is the reason British has given communal award in favor of the Ambedkar, Dalits. But Ambedkar never afraid. So many telegrams, so many statements made by the different people in India, but Ambedkar never afraid, because Ambedkar afraid only requested by the wife of the Mahatma Gandhi. She clearly stated that Gandhi, my husband, is a stupid. He can do this fast unto death. You are a gentleman. You have to stop this, communal award kindly, and agree the joint electorates, joint agreement between the Ambedkar and Gandhi, that is known as the Pune Pact, 1932. This Pune Pact, because of this Pune Pact, actually, according to communal award, the Dalits can vote their own leader, and also they can vote the other Hindu leaders. Two vote system according to communal order, but coming to joint electorates, only one vote. They has to vote for only even a Dalit, a reserved persons. Even the Hindus can also cast their vote. That means dual vote has been changed into a single vote, with the mercy of the Hindus or Dalits, the other than the Dalit people, even including Christians and Muslims. The people must elect the reserved candidates either in parliament or in assemblies under the reservation category, SC/ST reservation category. But unfortunately, what happened? The Chamchagiri occurred due to the joint electoral system, which depend upon Hindu society or upper caste society. No reserved MP or reserved MLA fighting for the cause of their people in assembly and parliament, discussing it. Why? Because the upper caste are giving their ticket, and the upper caste or the so-called Hindu society is voting the Dalit reserved caste person who is an outcast people, but even though with the mercy of the upper caste and Hindu society, the Dalit MP and MLA is winning. They are giving the tickets. That is the reason he is unable to open his mouth. Even the killings, mass killings, genocide is happening on the Dalits, SC and STs. So because of the Gandhi's attitude, the Chamchagiri made from the Dalit community, tribal community, because of the joint electorates, joint settlement system. So that is the reason after passing of the 70 years of the independence, there is a representative persons directly electing from the Dalit community. Even there is no adequate representation even in education, even in employment. Out of 22%, only reservations are implementing only 8% for SC/STs. Even recently, after Mandal Commission, BCs got the reservations 27% as per their population, 50%, but they got 27%, but only 7% implementing in central government institutions. But even though people are claiming that reservations only enjoying by the SC/STs, reservations only claimed by the BCs, but fact is that 50% really ceiling is there. Already Supreme Court has given judgment in Indrashani case in 1993. It is clearly mentioned that there should not be exceed 50% reservations. That means another 50% reservation, it is open category that is reserved for the open people. That is 15% of the people of the country. So 85% people, their reservation is restricted for 50%. For 15%, they reserved open category is a 50%. But after Narendra Modi's EBC reservation bill implemented, made as an act and implemented, that 50% open category extended to the 60%. But Supreme Court is silent. Supreme Court is not entertaining any petitions to question, to review the EBC Reservation Act made by the Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, without any statistical data, without any judicial commission. He made reservation, EBC reservation and implementing it. But whereas in case of SC/ST Atrocity Act, the Supreme Court struck down the anticipatory bail, now which is against the fundamental rights of the citizens. Even if you see the promotions of SC/STs in employment, that is also struck down. It is not a fundamental right; it is a mercy of the state. They can declare that whether they want to give or not. It is a mercy of the states. Is it fact? It is not at all fact, because reservations are not a mercy of any political party or any persons. It is only because of the Gandhiji's pressures to stop the communal award by the Britishers to elect their own leaders and settlement their own settlements. That is the reason only. Gandhi made reservation system, joint electoral system, reservation system, not Ambedkar. Ambedkar wanted a representative democracy as per their population for anybody. Reservations, the proposal of reservations proposed by the Gandhiji. But because of the Gandhiji cheating in Pune Pact, the reservations are enter into the constitution as a mercy of the upper caste. But it is not a mercy, because constitutions clearly stated under Article 16, Clause 4, it is a state duty to make proper reservation system in appointments of SC/STs, even backward classes. Even Article 4A in promotions also, definitely there should be a proper adequate. If there is no proper adequacy in promotions also, there should be a need of implementation of the reservations in promotions under Article 16 Clause 4A and also Clause 4B. What Clause 4B says? Clause 4B clearly says, if any pendency of backlog post, if it is exceeds than 50%, definitely it should be allowed, because as a fundamental right they can claim their own reservations even it is exceeds 50%. That are the fundamental rights are guaranteed by the Constitution of India, not as a mercy, like it is not a direct to principle of state policy as a mercy of the governments, but it is put in the Part 3 of the Indian Constitution as to claim under Article 32 and 226 of the Indian Constitution as a fundamental right. But Supreme Court violated this basic principle of Indian Constitution, which is a fundamental right. Promotions as a fundamental right. Getting their backlog by exceeding 50% also fundamental right. Getting reservations also fundamental right in public employment. But how can you deny the fundamental right? A custodian of the Supreme Court is the custodian of the Constitution. How can the Supreme Court deny the preamble, social justice, economical justice and political justice to the citizens of this country? Is Supreme Court is above the Constitution, or is the Supreme Court has to follow the Constitution principles? According to theory of the separation of the power, the Supreme Court is not above. Supreme Court has its own power, its own limitations. Legislative also it's having its own power and limitations, functions. Executive also having its own powers, functions and limitations. Why Supreme Court is stating that in itself as it is above the Constitution? How can it say that it is not a fundamental right, you can't claim that is a mercy of the state to get it the promotion by SC/STs? How can the Supreme Court says about the 100% reservations are not it is unconstitutional for Adivasis according to GO number 3 of the AP, United AP, because they will come under the 5th schedule. What is the role of a 5th schedule? What is the role of a Supreme Court in the 5th schedule? The entire system of the 5th schedule and 6th schedule under control by the President of India and also governors at the state level. Why Supreme Court involving in the matter of the constitutional fundamental principles of the rights of the Adivasi community? Is it not violation of the Indian Constitution? Basic structure of the Indian Constitution? How the Supreme Court is having that much of power to violate the basic structure, fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution in the name of the independence of the judiciary? Why only you are talking about the SC/ST issues? Why only you are talking about the backward classes? Why you are not talking about the EBC reservations? Why you are not talking about the rich persons, very richest persons violating the entire law? Why you are not involving in the corporate affairs? Why you are not involving in the exploitation of the rich people in education, corporating of the education system, health system, employment system, industries? How the Supreme Court is following the constitutional principles? By not involving in the so-called upper caste rich persons, Varna system, upper caste people are violating entire, looting the entire money, entire resources, entire industries, entire education system, entire health system, which are very needed to these societies. So that is the reason Supreme Court is in favor of the weaker sections or in favor of the upper sections, or landlords, or capitalists, or corporatists. So Supreme Court must follow the Constitution, because state is a as per Indian Constitution, our state is a welfare state. We should protect the welfare activities of the state. Supreme Court must follow it. Supreme Court is not above the Constitution. Constitutional principles, fundamental rights. Supreme Court is the duty to implement or protect the citizens' rights basing on the constitutional principles, not violating the basic structure of Indian Constitution, basic principles of Indian Constitution as enshrined in the preamble itself. Preamble also part of the Constitution and basic structure of the Indian Constitution. That is the reason, friends. So, how we should understand the Supreme Court verdict on the SC/ST issues, that is especially reservation issues, the Atrocity Act issue, even OBC reservation issues. If whether Supreme Court in favor of the victims of the society or against of the these victims. So that is the reason we must, I am humbly requesting the Supreme Court. I am humbly requesting the parliamentary bodies, the assembly bodies, our ruling bodies. And I am humbly requesting the executive bodies. We are not above the Constitution. I am also humbly requesting fourth estate media also. You are also not above the Constitution. We must address the grievances of the people basing on the Constitution, basing on the constitutional principles, because we are treating the India as a holistic, the world famous democratic country, and also we have a world famous Constitution which is possessing the liberty, equality, fraternity and justice, social and economical, political justice. The holistic Constitution is there. World populist Constitution written by Baba Saheb Ambedkar and other Constituent Assembly members, drafting committee. But in practice, what happening by the rulers, by the executive, by the judiciary? What happened? Whether they are following the constitutional principles, whether they are distributing justice of all the resources, which are only the 15% is having all the resources of the country, land, resources, power, employment, education, health, everything is under control by these richest people, upper caste people. Only 10% of the employment, government employment is there in the government employment. 90% of the opportunities are there with the hands of these so-called rich people. Even they are availing the 60% of the open category reservations. Whether it is justified by the Supreme Court giving these type of judgments, whether it is constitutional valid judgments given by the Supreme Court. So I request the people are believing that Supreme Court is like a holistic institution, believing that the gods and goddess, judges are gods and goddesses, which given justice for them. Justice is the ultimate goal of this Indian Constitution, either social, economical and political justice. But if justice fails, whose fault is this? If legislative fails, if executive fails giving the justice to the victims, but ultimately the people will go to the Supreme Court or the higher judiciary. If Supreme Court itself violates the justice, where people has to go? Where they will get justice? This is a basic question that must be addressed by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is not above the Constitution. There is no provision, 50% ceiling provision is there in the Constitution. Constitution clearly says that about SC/ST appointments, promotions, even exceeding the 50% ceiling also in backlog post of the SC/STs. So I am appealing the judiciary. I am appealing the even Parliament. Why you are silent on these judgments? Why you are not amending these judgments made by the Supreme Court? You are also made amendment regarding SC/ST Atrocity Act, which affecting the 22% of the population of this country. It is also affecting recent judgments, even promotion reservation is also affecting. Even Adivasi, Jiva number 3, also affecting the Adivasi issues. Why you are silent on these two judgments? Why you are silent on EBC reservation, which is affecting the entire system of the principle of the reservation justice system? Why you are silent on, on the upper caste issues, the so-called Varna system? Why you are supporting rich person? Why you are supporting? Why you are opposing the victims, common man, the Bahujans of the society? It is my humble request, the Supreme Court kindly realize, you should follow the fundamental basic principles of Indian Constitution while giving judgments. We are not above the Constitution. Even Supreme Court is not above the Constitution. Any institution of the India is not above the Constitution, including citizens also not above the Constitution. We must, all together we must follow the Constitution, constitutional principles to prosper of the Indian society. Then only all issues must be addressed. Then only peace and prosperous will be increase in the society. We'll get the peace and prosperous and development of the society. That is a duty of the accountability, duty of the all administration justice systems, including legislative, executive and judiciary, fourth estate, citizens. So we are all accountable to the Constitution. The Constitution is the ultimate law, supreme law, rule of law, which we should follow, we should implement. Thank you, one and all. We hope definitely that will happen in coming days.